Hello, and welcome back to A Better Tech LLC. This week we're going to be talking about things to look for when buying a new laptop. Let's check out a laptop on Amazon. This says that it's a Dell Inspiron 3583 15-inch laptop, Intel Celeron 128GB solid-state drive, 4GB DDR4, 1.6 gigahertz, Intel UHD graphics 610, Windows 10 Home Inspiron 15 3000 series. New! Now, that probably sounds like a mouthful of complete gibberish. So let's go through and break down what that's all actually saying to you. The brand is a Dell, and the operating system that it's running is Windows 10. Sometimes it may say Windows 10S or Windows 10 Professional, but most of them will say Windows 10. The CPU manufacturer is Intel, and that's this number right here. That tells you that the CPU is an Intel that runs at 1.6 gigahertz. The screen size is 15.6 inches. That's going to be from this corner all the way down to this corner. The memory size, or RAM size, is 4 gigabytes. That's that 4 gigabytes of DDR4 RAM right there. More RAM will help the overall performance of your computer by giving it more memory to work with. It will also make it easier for it to open and switch between programs. The hard disk size is 128 gigabytes. Now this says hard disk, but this up here says 128 gigabyte SSD, which we learned stands for solid state drive. So we know that the hard drive on it is a solid state drive instead of a normal hard drive, and can hold 128 gigs. The Intel processor runs at 1.6 gigahertz and has 2 cores. The series for the computer is the Dell Inspiron 3583, and the CPU model is Intel's Celeron series. So we know that if we're going to be storing a lot of pictures or movies or a lot of programs on this computer, this probably isn't going to be a good bet because it only has 128 gigs of space on it. However, if we're just using this for a lot of online applications like email or searching the web, then this would be a pretty decent computer. The 1.6 gigahertz speed tells me that it's going to be pretty slow opening up different programs, but once they're open, they'll work like they should. The solid state drive tells me that boot up time will be a lot faster compared to a hard disk drive. Now let's look at the computer itself. From the top view here, we can see the trackpad, the keyboard, and the power button. From the side view, we can see all the different ports it has. There's that power port, an HDMI port, an Ethernet port, and 2 USB ports, and a headphone jack. On the other side, we can see a slot for an SD card, another USB port, and for a dongle. Looking at the back view, we can see the hinges. You always want to try to get a really good view of those hinges on laptops, as those are going to be one of the first thing that goes out. So a poorly made hinge, or a hinge that has been used a lot of times if you're buying a used computer, is something you want to avoid. The hinge on the computer is the spot where it's most vulnerable to damage. It's a weak point and experiences the most abuse during daily use. In most cases, metal hinges are much less prone to breakage than plastic hinges, but that's not always the case. If the screws and nuts in the hinge come loose, the hinge itself can come loose and cause the screen to crack or the keyboard to stop functioning as intended. Another pain point is the palm rest. Repeated impact to this area can cause damage to your internal hardware or to your keyboard and trackpad. Be sure to treat this area of your computer gently. Some general things to remember are to not set your laptop on a soft surface like a bed or a couch. It makes it harder for the air to get in there and cool your computer off, which can cause it to overheat. Be sure not to eat or drink around any computer. Crumbs love to get in the keyboard and make their way either into the case on laptops and underneath keys on desktops. This can cause bugs and other damage. One of the most common things is a crumb or something sticky will get underneath one of the keys, and then you either won't be able to press it at all, or it will just press randomly or all the time. So you'll just be typing and like your L key will just be held down while you're typing, makes it very difficult. And liquid is the mortal enemy of all electronics, so we just want to keep all kinds of liquids away from your computer in general. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and hit that bell icon so that you get notified about all our upcoming videos. This has been a Better Tech LLC.